Yo, 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 what is up, everybody? Why? I don't want this to feel like, every time you people see me, it's always after bad times. And I don't like that. I don't want our relationship to be like that. I don't want it to be like every single time we speak, it's always on bad terms. Eventually, one day, this will be on good terms, and we can talk about bright, shining victories and bright, shining beams in the sky. But somehow, some way, that is not tonight. As the Sacramento Kings lose to the Phoenix Suns in Phoenix in the club in the Vegas nightclub as Steve Kerr called it, 119 117. They blew. I don't even know. It was a 20-point lead in the fourth quarter. Just an all-time collapse. I mean, this is going to be one that I think we're going to probably talk about for a while. I mean, this paired on top of how Sunday's game ended is absolutely crazy. I mean, it's definitely a really bad loss for this team. And it's again a loss that looked like it was going to be a very quality win at one point. That Milwaukee game looked like it could possibly be that regulation, and then pretty much all the moments leading up until the missed free throws and the collapse. It was a really great performance from the Kings, and really one that you would have pointed to say, look what this team is capable of. And I think today was definitely on track to be a game like that as well. It was the Kings were shooting great. Their effort was incredible. I thought to start this game, especially defensively, they were flying around. I thought Kevin Herter did a great job defensively in this game. But I mean, it all came to a screeching halt with about 5 to 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and all the positive and good that you built up throughout the duration of this game is kind of forgotten about, because this is now back-to-back games where you've shown you can't close, and the Kings closing lineup there really did nothing. And the fact that Phoenix just had to go small to throw them off is absolutely something that people are going to be exposing in the playoffs. Like in the playoffs, that is now going to be the book written out on the Kings is, hey, go small, especially to close games out in close games. And they're not going to know how to look at this. My cat's just thinking she can hop on in the chat. Uh, the fact that, yeah, you just go small, and it really disrupted this team. I mean, you saw Mike Brown take out Domantas Sabonis for a second there, and then reinsert him back in there about, I don't know, like 30 seconds later. He had no idea what to do in that moment. And I think it's really telling that this is a different five than the five we saw to close Milwaukee as well. You saw Harrison Barnes close tonight. Thought that was a strange decision. I know Trey didn't have a good game, but I think at some point you got to kind of trust your guys at that point, and you can't just always go with the hot hand. So I thought that was an interesting decision. And looking back, I mean, I don't really remember anything that Harrison did down the stretch. Not saying that it was just Harrison's fault, but that's him and Malik are really the two guys who are the swing guys in terms of their position in the closing lineup is pretty fluid. I don't know. It was an interesting decision, I think, for Mike Brown to go with HB down the stretch, but we'll see. And I really had it was going to be great, man. I'm telling you, tonight's show was going to be a fun one. I had lined up the Phoenix Suns DJ thing ready to go. We were gonna be all excited. We were gonna join the stream, and you know,
In this building, you can't hear anything because it's like a club. It's like a South Beach club. It's thumping
yes,
techno
we
club
were gonna
music.
have a great time. Okay, and now you know what? I'm still gonna play this because I really was excited about it, and I did all the work of finding the video and all that. So I'm at least gonna let it play out. But this was gonna be a great time. I also had set up a new segment after we showed after we showed the. Sorry if that just blew everyone's ears out too. That's apparently what the Suns arena does anyway. So just trying to give you guys a nice little 3D experience. I guess it wouldn't be 3D, but whatever. What was I talking about? I'm sorry. I had a whole new thing set up after we did the Mike Brown press conference, showing that at the end of our last stream. I thought it would be fun to kind of continue to do that, and I bookmarked some tweets that I think would have told the story of tonight's game, and I had it all laid out, and then everything kind of went to crap, and that flow just didn't really go. We'll still try it out, but absolutely insane that's how this game ends tonight, because it just, again, it felt like this should have been the Sacramento Kings night, and I'm kind of a little bit in shock. I'm probably going to go torture myself and rewatch the last 6 minutes of this game just to kind of see what happened, because again, it felt like this was a great performance. Like, again, a performance that we could look at all year and say this is going to be something that we can look back on and really say, look at, this is definitely not the equivalent of the Clipper game last year, but they shot really well. They bounced back from a heartbreaking loss on the road to close out a road trip. Against the Phoenix team that had all three of their best players. The first time the Kings are seeing those three guys, Phoenix's big three, could have been a really nice win to point at, and it's just ripped away in just terrible fashion. So back-to-back losses in heartbreaking fashion for the Kings, and you just hate to see it, because right now is the dog days of the season. They're in game 40. I think this was the 40th game of the season, if I'm not mistaken. So they're pretty much smack dab right in the middle of the year. This is the toughest part to get through, and when in the middle of your season you're dealing with back-to-back heartbreaks, I mean, that's probably just making this season feel like it's dragging along, especially as, the trade rumors and everything is circulating around the team. It's just got to feel like a purgatory part of the season where you're just kind of, your things aren't fresh anymore, but the finish line is still too far away to really try and look forward to. And man, I don't know. Absolutely, Alex, I completely agree with this. All in 4 quarters. That really is the takeaway from tonight. Is you got to finish out these games. You can on both sides. Like, this is for Kings team that's been getting blown out religiously. It feels like. This is a showing that, hey, man, if you play until the final whistle, crazier things have happened, okay? It's happened against you, as a matter of fact. So this is a shining example of, on both ways, all in for 4 quarters. Until that final whistle, the game is not decided. You can shift momentum at any time if you just lock in and focus on what you need to do. And the Kings just couldn't do that. I mean, Katie pointed out correctly on the broadcast. Let me get it up. They had a stretch where it was, I think, 4 straight turnovers and then 2 blocks. And that was in the 4th quarter in an incredibly key stretch. Let me pull that up here. 4th quarter. Let's see here. So Keegan Murray hits the 3 on the De'Aaron Fox rebound, by the way. Again, I'm going to have that in my little Twitter breakdown that we're going to do later. But what a rebound from De'Aaron. That was crazy. He missed that floater and just leaped over Grayson Allen. Granted, he probably knew he was short, so he kind of had the anticipation on his side. But for him to just leap over him, and I mean, he mossed him. Like, that's exactly what in football, if you're going to moss somebody, that's exactly what it looked like. And he mossed Grayson Allen, who had a ridiculous night, by the way. Grayson Allen went crazy tonight. Shout out Grayson Allen. I don't know why, but shout out Grayson Allen. I mean, that was a crazy rebound. Kicked it out to Keegan. And then after that is really where things went bad. Let's see here. So Sabonis misses a free throw at the 5-minute mark. We've seen that movie before. And then it goes Malik Monk, bad pass. De'Aaron Fox, bad pass. Harrison Barnes, offensive foul. Harrison Barnes, turnover on the offensive foul. Malik Monk blocked by Grayson Allen. De'Aaron Fox blocked by Kevin Durant. That's a 3-minute stretch of just turnovers, block. in the most important stretch of the game, and that right there is your ball game, ladies and gentlemen. If the Kings can just kind of get the ship straight in that little stretch of time right there, this game, they had a big enough lead. Like that, this is an embarrassing loss. Like this team should not feel good about their performance tonight. If you can't close out a game, none of that stuff matters. So it's a little bit different than the previous game where, they definitely earned themselves into that game. They played great throughout the entire duration, fought hard to end the game, just got kind of unfortunate to not get the result tonight. They played well enough for 3.5 quarters, but if you're not going to close it out, then this is just a hard lesson that none of that stuff matters. So, what a fun, terrible lesson that we all had to go through as fans. Unfortunately, we as fans shouldn't have to go through that with the team, but that's just not how it works. Switching over to the Twitter portion of tonight's show, I'm going to continue to call it Twitter. I know there's a big hullabaloo about it's .com. I'm going to continue to call it Twitter. So let's check out Twitter here. We're going to start. Sorry, as I get all this right. Here we go. We're going to zoom in. This is just night one. So bear with me here. So here we go. Look at that. There's a draft board from way back. This goes backwards. See, we're learning things. Interesting. Well, let's start in the pregame where Mike Brown addressed his $50,000 fine. I thought this was really funny. I'll just
on verticality for your $50K.
I mean, the fine is what it is. My partner Rochelle, she's upset with me because I was going to splurge and take them skiing. Sacramento's a great place. The city's unbelievable. It's close to Tahoe, Lake Tahoe, and so anybody gets a chance to visit Sacramento, you should. Lake Tahoe's in great proximity, but we were going to stay at the Ritz-Carlton in North Lake, on the north side of Lake Tahoe. We were going to splurge a little bit for All-Star break, go skiing. I was going to take my grandson skiing, but I called her and told her we probably won't be able to do it today unless the Ritz-Carlton, which is a terrific place, gives me a discount.
So there you go. Mike Brown will not be going on vacation in Tahoe. Shout out Mike Brown and his All-Star weekend. I hope he has a fantastic All-Star weekend. I also hope De'Aaron Fox can't join him in Tahoe because he is hopefully going to be in Indiana with Tyrese Halliburton for the All-Star game in Indiana this year. We'll get to this later, but this is definitely something interesting. Speaking of Tyrese Halliburton and the Indiana Pacers, Shams put out before the game that there is talks going on. As we know, it is rumor season. There's a lot of talks going on right now between the Indiana Pacers and the Toronto Raptors and Pascal Siakam, who Kings fans have become unwillingly very aware of, and how he is trying to get out of Toronto. Should be really interesting to see how that develops. By the sound of it, like I said, we'll talk about it later. By the sound of it, it sounds like things are progressing very quickly over there. I don't really care about this, but Logan Webb, and I shouldn't say I don't care about this, but Logan Webb and Brandon Crawford were at the game earlier. Arizona. I as a big Kings fan. Shout out Brandon Crawford for showing up to the Kings game, and I'm sorry that they had to watch that garbage performance, or that garbage ending. That is not a good representation of what the Kings got going on. So please forgive us for that. See, and again, like I said, early in this game, man, they were playing really, really well. This is, again, them looking like the Sacramento Kings of last year, which is not something we've seen a lot, especially offensively. Like, pushing the pace early in this game, like, I had not seen them look that aggressive all season long. You see even here, De'Aaron running out, Keegan running out, Kevin looking for them.
Keegan.
immediately after getting the rebound. We just haven't seen a lot of this all year. And, it's also off of a steal, which is a big part of this. The Kings not getting stops this year has definitely been a problem. And this was early out in the game. I thought, again, Kevin Huerter played really, really good defense on Devin Booker to start out. Kevin Durant didn't have a single shot, didn't score a single point in the first quarter. They were just really, really scrappy on the defensive end, and that's why, again, this game becomes really frustrating because they were playing so well on both sides of the ball, and for them to not get the result, it kills all of it. HB as well looked really, really good to start this game. Came out aggressive. This is, I don't know, man. HB has been playing really aggressively, at least in the first half, a lot here recently. And it's just really disappointing that he can't seem to play a full 48-minute game of really aggressive basketball, because when he's going on top of everybody else, it looks really, really good. And it's really frustrating. And, that we've been trying to make it work here in Sacramento for a while now. And it's, I don't know, man. I've said it, I feel like 5 straight games, but it just feels like it's HB's time to go. And speaking of getting things going, Sasha Vezenkov, ladies and gentlemen, had himself a night. Ooh, the jump shot is not pretty, but man, oh man, look at this. Look at this. Man.
Sasha.
I mean, he is cutting.
Look at the respect he
was doing it all. He was doing it all.
5 on the clock. Sasha.
NBC.
3 cash. Sasha Vezenkov, the EuroLeague MVP.
Sasha's played great. But yeah, man, just a really, again, just as I'm watching these highlights, I'm getting more and more disappointed at the fact that they could not pull through and win this game, because they were playing so well. Sasha was playing great. The Suns tried to get him ISO'd a lot in the second half after Sasha had the big first half. They were like, all right, there's no way we're going to let this guy cook. Sasha, by the way, had a career high 14 points. I don't know how many he ended with, but I know just in this first half he had 12 or 14. So, I mean, yeah, again, you get Sasha going in that second stint he had in the second half, I should say the first stint he had in the second half. The Suns tried to attack him more defensively. Again, I feel like Sasha held his own, and every time I say, it doesn't really matter that Sasha's not playing. Of course, I think he can contribute to something, but I don't think he's going to fix what's wrong with this team. He has games like tonight where you see him as a cutter, always being underneath the rim, ready for a wide open look, catching the defense slipping. You see him hitting just wide open threes, being really quick to shoot the ball. And again, pair that on top of not getting killed defensively, and I think it's Mike Brown is running out of excuses. Not that he has said any, but it's really hard, becoming harder and harder to keep Sasha off the bench. Let's not worry about that 2018 big board there. Okay, I don't know why I bookmarked that. I must have really wanted people to see that back in the day, but yeah, I mean it's really disappointing that the Kings couldn't get the result tonight. Here are some other things I wanted to talk about outside of highlights. De'Aaron Fox passes Chris Webber for most steals. This is whatever. I mean, I don't even know who's number 1 on this list. To me, this is more just, where is De'Aaron Fox going to finish in terms of his Sacramento career? Just in terms of the all-time leaders in franchise history. Is he going to be number 1 when it comes to points, when it comes to assists? I believe he just became the Sacramento era leader in assists. Now he's 5th in steals. I'm just curious. I'm pulling up Basketball Reference right now. Let me see if I'll play that. Watch that. But I knew De'Aaron was going to be a good player when they drafted him. Of course, at that time, the Kings have been go so many rookies. It was tough to kind of figure out who was going to stay. De'Aaron definitely seemed not like your average rookie, even at that time. But just to see him again now reach the point where he's not far off from Jason Thompson in terms of games played. I think he has. I think he can break it next season if he plays 70. I did the math this summer. I think if he plays 73 games this season, then he will be 73 games away next season from breaking Jason Thompson's Sacramento era games played record. So I mean, it's incredible to see how De'Aaron has grown through his time here in Sacramento, from that kid with the long hair who was doing crazy windmill dunks to now being a 30, or I shouldn't say he's a 30-point per game scorer anymore. He's not a 30-point per game scorer anymore. He is high 20s, high 20s, but near 40% from three. So it's just crazy to see that. Shout out Will Z Stats. Whoops, where'd it go? Oh, I don't know what happened here. Okay. That was weird. Will Z Stats here. Most games. Oh, okay. I guess that's what happens when I click it. Most games with 5 assists off the bench this season. Malik Monk, 26. TJ McConnell, 18. Y'all can see the rest. Malik Monk is just incredible off the bench. His playmaking. I noticed Mike Brown today didn't play his Malik Monk as the backup point guard lineup. He did go with De'Aaron and Malik for a large portion of tonight. But I think the more and more that they just put the ball in Malik Monk's hands, I think the better things will happen. Yeah, and tonight was just embarrassing. Here's the last points the Kings scored tonight. De'Aaron Fox. Nice little bucket if you needed to get one. It's good that De'Aaron kind of has that in his locker, but just disappointing to not get the result. And we're now going to shop staring. I hope everybody enjoyed that. I'm hoping to do versions of that just about every night if we can. But of course, yeah, tonight kind of got ruined because everybody kind of stopped posting things as things got bad there. I'm going to see if Mike Brown, if there's any clips from the post-game press conference, but I'm also going to go through you guys' chats here just to kind of see what you guys have been talking about. And we're also going to talk about that possible Pacers trade as well. Got a lot of thoughts on that move. Don't really think it makes a lot of sense. I'll give you a preview. Haven't seen anything from the press conferences yet, so let's go to your chat here. Yeah, first and second quarter was looking great for us, and then everything just kind of spiraled from there. At least Herder and Barnes getting trade value up. Needs a shake-up, let's be honest. That was horrible. That is really funny, and who knows? That could definitely be a part of Harrison Barnes being thrown. I don't think so. I don't know if Mike Brown is going to play a part in any of the GMing stuff that goes on, especially when it comes to closing lineups and things like that to close games. But, definitely it's good to see Kevin Huerter knock down shots. I'm sure Monty McNair likes to see Kevin Huerter knock down shots. I'm sure Monty McNair likes to see Harrison Barnes more involved in the Kings offense. But I definitely think that at least one of those guys will probably not be here a month from now. If I had to guess, I would say one of those guys will more than likely not be here, if not both. But I definitely think at least one will probably not be back. Sasha is back. Yeah, I mean, I guess you could say is back. I was going to say it's tough to say is back if he was never really here, but I guess he has kind of popped in and out and had random really good performances, and then it feels like he does like just a little bit of okay, not much of really anything, and then Mike Brown will just pull him for 7 games, and it's like, whoa. I don't know if we needed to just go from, playing good to figuring it out to nothing at all. Like, it's yeah. Rotations have definitely seemed a lot tighter these last 2 games, which I think is Mike Brown kind of starting to feel this team a little bit, understand who he's got, the guys he trusts. I think it's clear he's got the core 4 in there, the Sabonis, Fox, Murray, and Monk. I thought Trey Lyles was solidified in there, but I think tonight is showing that his spot's fluid. I think HB's spot's fluid. I think Kevin Huerter's spot's fluid. I mean, that's really it. I don't think Sasha can really get into that closing lineup with where he's at right now. I think there's possibility for it. I think a night like tonight is probably the best shot he's got at getting in the closing lineup. But, you know, even tonight, there was a good first half from Sasha, but you didn't really see much in the second half. And if you're going to close a game, you know, it's honestly more important that you're having a good second half. So that's definitely something to note for sure, though. The rotations are definitely getting tightened up. Let me see how many Mike Brown played today. He played 9 tonight, which isn't abnormal. Alex Len only played 8 minutes, which is fine. But, I mean, you could easily take out Alex Len's minutes there, and that's an 8-man rotation. Yeah, that's pretty tight. That is pretty tight rotation. So, and, you know, trade deadline's right around the corner. So, if Mike Brown only feels like he can trust 4 of his guys every single night, and honestly, yeah, I mean, again, I think Malik's spot could be fluid on a given night. I think Keegan isn't 100% solidified in that closing rotation, so I think that's definitely should be assigned to Monty McNair, who was sitting courtside tonight with Vivek Ranadive. Let me see. I know Jason Anderson put that out. So, you know, that should be a clear sign that your coach is saying, I don't even have 5 guys, and it'd be nice if I had 7, and it'd be great if I had 8. Not yet, Chuck Lee. Not yet. I'm going to read through all of these comments, and then we will get to the Siakam trade, or potential trade. I fell victim to it too. Potential trade has not gone through yet, but we'll get to that in a minute. Yo, thank you, Beamer, Benzer, Beamley. I swear I bookmarked this. I'm going to have to edit my bookmarks. How did I not get Keegan Murray's dunk? What the hell is wrong with me? Where is it? Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, I'm sorry. I did all y'all a disservice. Also, there is a Mike Brown press conference out, so we will play that for a second. But I got to play. Here we go. I got to. How have I not done this? I'm sorry. Thank you. We got to play this. We got to play this Keegan Murray dunk. Come on. Look at this. Look at this.
Herter with the snatch.
No, we're going to turn this off. Come on. What are we talking about? That's Keegan Murray. What are we talking about? This man really tried it. Right here. He said, he's looking at him. He said, "Oh, I think I got this." Takes the power dribble. Oh, right here, it's almost over for Kev. At this moment, Kevin was really like, I might not make it to the other side of this. That little bit of arm contact right there. This arm contact, this stopped Keegan from going forward enough to throw it down and just kind of held him back. If KD does not get arm here, it's a wrap. Yeah, you see how this flash is going on right now? Somebody got a still shot of the actually kind of looks like KD got ball here. This kind of looks like KD. I mean, that's a lot of body, but KD kind of looks like he's got a lot of ball there. But man, oh man. How about Keegan Murray, y'all? That's incredible. That's incredible. What up, Mike Brown's press conference? Real quick. Get back to your comments. Sorry. Here's Mike Brown lesson for us all. Let's Coach Brown.
The entire Phoenix Suns team, a lot of credit. The reality of it is they went small, and we couldn't score. We couldn't score inside. Katie did a heck of a job, or we took some bad shots. I thought we drove into traffic 2 or 3 times. And instead of playing the way we normally play, you drive the ball, you touch the paint. If help comes, play off of 2 and spray it. We tried to go for the foul and shoot over 2 or 3 guys at the rim. And then we took some tough threes, and they forced us into tough threes. We had no pace in the half court to end the game. We were holding the ball a lot, and so their ability to play KD at the 5 and still match up with us because we couldn't score really slowed us down, and we have to figure that out because that's happening.
Right there is why you saw Mike Brown take out Domantas Sabonis, which told Mike Brown told on himself there. Again, Mike Brown told on himself because that tells me that Mike Brown's knee-jerk reaction to seeing a team go small is we got to take Domas out. Especially with Kate. And maybe it's because Mike Brown has a different level of familiarity and respect for Kevin Durant, who he spent years with in Golden State. But that tells me, and again, to me, is Mike Brown maybe not even intentionally telling Monty McNair in that moment, I feel like we need a 4 who can play the 5, but also be able to stick on a dude like KD, which is a very, very big ask. Like, there's not many people, of course. Like, oh, yeah, I would love a 6'10 dude who's got long wingspan, can defend, but can also hold his own on the offensive end and not clutter things up. Okay, let me just go swipe one from the Detroit Pistons real quick. There is somebody on the Pistons that I think would be nice on this Kings team, but that guy is not on the Pistons that I just described. So I do think that's interesting. I'm not trying to, say Mike Brown thinks Sabonis is garbage, but I definitely think that it's interesting to me that, again, the moment Phoenix went small, put KD at the 5, Mike Brown said, I don't know if I want Domas out there.
Happened to us in the past. So great learning lesson for us all. And then on top of the tough shots and the inability to score in the paint and or spray the ball at the right time, we just kept turning it over. We had some bad turnovers. I thought we were really lazy a couple of times with the ball instead of making sure we were passing on time, passing on target with 2 hands, and it was just a recipe for what happened. And hopefully it'll be something that we can learn from in the future, because we're going to face teams that go small and put a small guy on Domas. You got to give.
Interesting. That is, man, I don't know. That's interesting. I think Mike Brown said it there, though, because, at the end of the day, this team does got to ride with Sabonis on the floor, even if teams go small. And I do think Sabonis is capable enough to stay on the floor against these teams. They just have to really figure it out. And, again, I think it's more so on Monty McNair to make sure that Mike Brown has the right kind of personnel. And survive might be a strong word, but I do think it's the right one to survive out there. If teams do decide to go small, because you do have to keep Sabonis out there. If you're paying that dude $30 million per year and he's the second highest paid dude on your team, you kind of got to make sure he's on the floor at the end of games. And, that's where all the Sabonis haters, all the Kevin O'Connors out there, all the people who say Domantas Sabonis, the Kings team can't win with Domantas Sabonis as their second best player. That's kind of the where they're getting that fuel from. So, sorry, as I'm trying to fix my camera now. I didn't even know it was. Let me see here. We're going to have to switch and then switch back. And boom, look just like that. So, yeah, I definitely think that's some interesting comments there from Mike Brown. And I'm going to continue to move forward, assuming that this team is going to make a deal. Because I don't know how many more times we have to see either Mike Brown make statements or us all to just watch it with our own eyes to see that this team needs just some more options, some more versatility. Because if they don't if they're not going to trade for a guy who's solidified, going to be in that core 4 or core 5, then you need to give Mike Brown the best possible ingredients to cook up against any opponent. Like, he's going to need guys that he feels like, if teams are going small, okay, well, here's a guy who can protect the rim but shoot. But here's a team that they have a really good guard that we need to stop. The Kings just they need more ingredients if they're not going to go out there and get a big star. Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with everyone who's like, this loss is embarrassing. I definitely think it's embarrassing. I think there's no I'm kind of a little bit disappointed in Mike Brown's press conference there. I feel like he should just be more disappointed. It didn't really I mean, I'm sure he's not thrilled with his team, but I don't know. It didn't I'm not saying that he didn't get the message. I definitely think Mike Brown is very aware of how bad these 2 losses have been, but I'm kind of surprised he wasn't more animated. We've seen him be more animated about less. I'm right there with you, buddy. Julian, you're speaking facts today. I'm right there with you. I am right there with you. Closing rotation so screwed for sure. Absolutely. The closing rotation, I wouldn't say it's so screwed like it's irreparable, but it's just really clear that he does not know what if he does not go into a game knowing who he's going to close out with. And I definitely think that's a problem. I think he could tell you 3 guys that he's I don't even know if he could tell you 3 guys that I guess Keegan is 99 out of 100 times probably going to be in the closing lineup. But there's definitely situations where if Keegan doesn't have it and you just don't feel like he's playing aggressive this season, where I think we've seen him not play and not finish in games. So, just kind of an interesting thing to monitor. Yeah, who Mike Brown is closing his games with. All right. Let's move on now to this possible trade, and then we will do our 3 stars of the night, and we will get on out of here. Let me find this Shams Charania tweet real quick. Here we go. I am on The Athletic here. Here we go. Share screen here. I'm not even sure if this is allowed, but to be honest with y'all, we're just gonna rock with it. The Raptors and Pacers are actively engaged in trade talks centered around 2-time All-Star Pascal Siakam that would send him to Indiana for a package that includes Bruce Brown, other salaries, and not 1, not 2, but 3 first-round draft picks. I can't even imagine what the protections on those are. The Raptors have been engaged in discussions with several teams on a potential Siakam deal, but conversations with the Pacers have gained steam in recent days, sources say. Sources briefed on the talks between the two say that there have been several back-and-forth proposals made, while the 2 sides have been described as being far along in the process. According to those sources, they have yet to finalize or agree to a deal. Definitely think that it feels like this is where Pascal Siakam's going to go. I don't agree that Indiana should be making this move. To me, 3 first-round picks for a guy that you're not sure is going to re-sign is just a bad idea. I also don't think Indiana's at a point right now in the season at a point right now in their overall timeline where it feels like they should be making this all-in move. Maybe they view this in a way as their Sabonis trade where they're looking at Tyrese Halliburton and they see how the Kings just bring in an all-star or an all-NBA caliber player and what it does for their team success. So maybe they're thinking a similar track mind for this move, but this just feels like, people definitely said Tyrese Halliburton was too much for the Kings to give up. But Bruce Brown, 3 first-round picks. I would assume the other salaries, y'all, this right here, anybody in the comments know what this is code for? I'll give y'all 30 seconds for what other salaries. This is, it's not like some word that's like coded language that everybody uses. This is a very specific, there we go. It's starting to trickle in the chat. There we go. I see it trickling in the chat here. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. That means Buddy Hield. Other salaries, it means Buddy Hield. Don't know why. Don't know why they didn't want to put Buddy Hield's name in there, but Bruce Brown and other salaries means Bruce Brown, Buddy Hield, and 3 first-round picks for Pascal Siakam. So that'll be interesting. I'd be surprised if this thing doesn't get finalized. I honestly was shocked that this hasn't been finalized even before the Kings game started. I thought it was going to be definitely by 6 o'clock that thing would have broke. So wouldn't surprise me if we wake up in the morning and there's a deal done, kind of like the OG and a newbie trade. And if it is done, I'm sorry, I am going to have to skip on 3 stars tonight. If it is done, you can listen to it on Styles and Watkins tomorrow from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Sacktown Sports 1140. You can check me out on Thursday. We're going to be live from Golden One Center, y'all. Good to be back against the Indiana Pacers, the very same Indiana Pacers who might be trading for Pascal Siakam. We'll be talking about that and more on Thursday. Again, right here on Sacktown Sports 1140 YouTube channel. I'm sorry I can't do the 3 stars for tonight. Again, I think that it's just here. I'll give it to you real quick. We'll give 1 star to Domantas Sabonis, who I had no idea had a triple-double until they said it. Or he was even on track to have a triple-double until they said it right when he checked in. Just a ho-hum triple-double for him, 21 points, 12 rebounds, 11 assists. 2 stars I was going to give to Sasha for his great night. I wish it came in a win. It should have came in a win. If I'm not mistaken, didn't the Kings – no, I'm thinking of Bogdanovic that the Kings got his rights from Phoenix. I think the Kings got Sasha's rights from Cleveland, I want to say. So, but for Sasha to have a career night tonight, he gets 2 stars. I wish it could have came in a win. De'Aaron Fox, 3 stars for being that guy. He hit a couple threes tonight. His 3-point shot looks great. Yet again, 6 of 10 from 3. Didn't realize he was that good from 3. 33 for Fox tonight. He was incredible. Just down the stretch. The Kings couldn't get it done. So we will talk to y'all tomorrow and again after Thursday's game, live from Golden One Center against the Indiana Pacers. I will see y'all whenever I see you. Have a great night. And unfortunately, we can't light the beam.